Hello everyone. In today's video I'm going to be swatching out my collection of Van Gogh watercolors. So Van Gogh is a student grade paint from Royal Talens, and according to their website they've got 72 colours available. 30 of which I'll be swatching out here. I do actually have 31 colours, but I forgot to include the Oxide Black, so sorry about that. If you want to see the Oxide Black, you can go check out the granulating black video I made a few weeks back. Okay, so let's start swatching them out. So first we have Permanent Lemon Yellow. This one is made from PY184. I quite like this lemon yellow, but yeah, it is a bit opaque. And next we have Azo Yellow Light, and this one is PY154. And this one's lovely and bright, but yeah, like the yellow before it, it is quite opaque. Next we have Azomethine Green Yellow, and this one is PY129. I definitely don't love this yellow. I always say it whenever I swatch it out. I find it quite ugly, but yeah, it's great for mixing. Next is Gamboge. This is a mix of PY154 and PR101. I don't really use warm yellows, but this one seems fine. It seems to be a bit less opaque than the cool yellows as well. Next is Permanent Orange. And this one is a mix of PY154 and PO73. Yeah, just like the warm yellows, I don't use oranges either. This one is, yeah, nice and vibrant, I guess. Yeah, again, it's quite opaque. Next is Pyrrole Orange, and this is PO73. Just like the previous orange, it's nice and vibrant. It's not as opaque as the previous one, but yeah, still not very transparent. Next is Permanent Red Light. This is PR254. Yep, this looks great to me. It's a nice, strong scarlet red. But again, it's very opaque. Next is Madder Lake Deep, and this one is PR264. Yep, this is a very nice deep red, no problems with this one. Next up we have Permanent Rose, and this one is PV19. Yeah, this one looks great. It's yeah, nice powerful rose magenta. And finally on this top row we have Permanent Red Violet. Again, this one is PV19. Actually, it doesn't look like Permanent Red Violet to me. I must have mislabeled the pan. This one is a Permanent Blue Violet, I think. So it's a mix of PV19 and PB29. So this next one is Permanent Blue Violet also, but I think it's the old version, which was a PV23. Sorry about the labeling mix up there. It is quite interesting though to see the new and old version both painted out. I'm not sure which I like best actually. Next is Ultramarine Deep, and this is PB29. I can't say I love this one. It's very violet leaning, probably the most violet leaning ultramarine I've seen. But in actual use it does the job just fine. Next is Cobalt Blue Ultramarine. This is a mix of PB29 and PW6. So this is Van Gogh's Cobalt Blue hue, and to be honest, it's not that bad. I've definitely seen far worse Cobalt Blue hues than this one. Next is Phthalo Blue, and this is PB15. Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's not as green as a green, as most green shades, but yeah, I think it is a green shade. But yeah, it's a very nice Phthalo Blue in my opinion. Next is Cerulean Blue Phthalo. And this is PB15 mixed with PW6. Again, just like the Cobalt Blue hue, this one, yeah, it's not terrible. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but again, I've seen worse. Next is Prussian Blue, PB27. I never used this colour, so I don't know if this is a particularly good one or not. Seems to be, yeah, nice and strong. Next we have Olive Green, and according to the Van Gogh website, this is made from PG7 and PY154. I do actually like this olive green. It's the right kind of colour in my opinion, and it's nice and saturated. Next is Hooker Green Deep, and this is also made of PG7 and PY154. As you can see, this is made from the same two pigments as the olive green. Yeah, I'm not sure how they got both these shades from just those two pigments. Next is Turquoise Green. This is PB15 and PB29. I never thought I'd say this about a turquoise, but I quite like this one. Kind of reminds me a bit of a cobalt green, just not gummy and horrible. Next is Phthalo Green, PG7. Not a whole lot to say about this one. Yeah, it's fine as a PG7, nice and strong. And now we move on to the earths. First is Yellow Ochre, and this is PY42. I like this Yellow Ochre and I've used it quite a lot. It's nice and saturated and quite opaque, just as a Yellow Ochre should be. Next is Burnt Sienna. This is made up from PR101 and PBK11. I'm not usually that happy when I see a black pigment in a burnt sienna, but this one seems just fine to me. Next is Light Oxide Red, which is PR101. So this is one of my favourite colours. In my opinion, it's just as good as the Rembrandt version. Or should I say the old Rembrandt version. It's quite opaque, but then it's supposed to be. Next is Raw Umber. This is a mix of PY42 and PR101. I've said in videos before that I like my raw umbers to be a bit more yellow leaning, so it's no surprise that I'm not a huge fan of this one. Yeah, it's just too brown for me. Next is Burnt Umber, and this is PR101 and PBK6. So yet another earth colour mixed with a black. Again, I don't think it matters much though, it's still a very nice burnt umber. And now onto the final of the regular colours. This is Payne's Grey. And it's made up from PBK6 and PV19. I've said before that I like my Payne's Grey to be a bit on the bluish side, and clearly this one isn't. There is something I quite like about it though, I'm not quite sure what it is exactly. Right, now we're moving on to the 4 dusk colours. These are all colours mixed with a granulating black. So first we have Dusk Yellow. This is PBK11 and PY128. I find these dusk paints to be really beautiful. Yeah, it's just so nice to see how the black separates from the other pigment. I have tried mixing my own with varying levels of success, but to be honest, for the price of these, you might as well just buy a tube. Next we have Dusk Pink. This is PBK11 and PV19. I don't like this one as much as the yellow, but yeah, it's still pretty nice. Next is Dusk Violet, and this is PBK11 mixed with PV23. Again, same as the Dusk Pink. I'm not as keen on this one as the yellow, but yeah, very nice. And finally we have Dusk Green. This is PBK11 and PG7. Yeah, another beautiful paint. I think this and the Dusk Yellow are definitely some of my favourites, or definitely my favourite of these dust colours. Okay, so that's all of them swatched out, and here they are when completely dry. Now, I do really like Van Gogh paints. I mean, all of them are lovely and bright, and they're really nice to paint out, but my goodness, they're opaque. I mean, especially the yellows and the oranges, but I really wouldn't consider any of them to be particularly transparent, apart from maybe the PY129. I mean, I've always known that they're a bit more on the opaque side, but after my recent swatching of all the higher end brands, yeah, I can really tell the difference. As I said, I do still love Van Gogh paints. Their slight lack of transparency is understandable. They are student grade paints after all. I'm sure they're full of fillers and brighteners, but yeah, to me, I still think they're great value. I mean, here where I live, a 10 milliliter tube of Van Gogh is 60 baht, which is less than £1.50 or $1.80. And a couple of times a year, some stores even have sales and sell them for as low as 35 baht, which is not much more than $1. I mean, I don't know how that compares to where you are, but here it's crazy cheap. I often joke that once I use up all my artist grade paints, I'm just going to switch to Van Gogh and use all the money I save for buying paper and to go on painting workshops. I think that would definitely have a bigger impact on my painting than buying expensive artist grade paints. Anyway, what do you think of Van Gogh paints? I know many of you do like them a lot. How do you think they compare to like their biggest student grade rival, Cotman? Personally, I don't have any real problems with Cotman, but if I had to pick, I'd definitely go for the Van Gogh, mostly because they're just much cheaper here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye bye.